Stories and Documentary Network. The Kingdom of Banu Zanj stands as a testament to the complexity and richness of human civilization in the Arabian Peninsula. Nestled amidst the sands of time, its existence has long intrigued historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts alike. Spanning a period shrouded in mystery, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj emerges as a beacon of cultural and political significance, its legacy echoing through the annals of history. This documentary embarks on a journey of discovery, charting the rise, zenith, and eventual decline of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj. Through a comprehensive exploration of historical records, archaeological findings, and scholarly interpretations, we aim to shed light on the multifaceted facets of this enigmatic kingdom. As we navigate through the chapters that follow, we invite readers to join us on a voyage of exploration and enlightenment as we unravel the mysteries of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj. The Arabian Peninsula has been home to civilizations dating back thousands of years, with evidence of human habitation found as early as the Paleolithic era. Among the earliest known civilizations in the region were the ancient kingdoms of Saba, Ma'in, and Qataban, which flourished in the southern regions of present-day Yemen. These civilizations were characterized by sophisticated agricultural practices, monumental architecture, and intricate trade networks that spanned the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. The prosperity of these early civilizations was closely tied to the exploitation of natural resources, particularly the cultivation of frankincense and myrrh, which were highly sought-after commodities in the ancient world. The remnants of their monumental structures, such as the Marib Dam in Yemen, stand as testaments to their ingenuity and technological prowess. As the early civilizations of the Arabian Peninsula flourished, tribal societies also began to emerge, particularly in the desert regions of the interior. Tribal affiliations played a central role in shaping social, political, and economic structures, with loyalty to kinship groups forming the bedrock of society. Tribal leaders, known as sheikhs, wielded considerable influence within their communities, arbitrating disputes and negotiating alliances with neighboring tribes. The fluidity of tribal allegiances and the absence of centralized authority meant that power dynamics often shifted, leading to periods of conflict and cooperation among rival tribes. Despite the decentralized nature of tribal societies, certain tribes, such as the Quraysh in Mecca and the Banu Hashim clan, rose to prominence through their control of key trade routes and religious sanctuaries. Amidst the backdrop of evolving political dynamics and shifting power structures, the emergence of the Banu Zanj marked a significant chapter in the history of the Arabian Peninsula. The Banu Zanj were a confederation of tribes that inhabited the fertile plains along the coast of the Arabian Gulf, encompassing present-day regions of eastern Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. Little is known about the precise origins of the Banu Zanj, but archaeological evidence suggests that they were deeply entrenched in the maritime trade networks that crisscrossed the Arabian Gulf. As the coastal trade routes flourished, the Banu Zanj established themselves as formidable seafarers and merchants, leveraging their strategic location to amass wealth and influence. In the centuries preceding the rise of Islam, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj emerged as a regional power, commanding control over vital trade routes and playing a pivotal role in shaping the socio-economic landscape of the Arabian Peninsula. The origins of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj are shrouded in myth and legend, with narratives passed down through oral traditions and historical accounts. According to some sources, the Banu Zanj traced their lineage back to ancient tribes that migrated from the southern regions of the Arabian Peninsula, while others attribute their ancestry to legendary figures and mythical ancestors. Founding myths often revolve around heroic exploits and divine intervention, with tales of legendary leaders and mythical creatures woven into the fabric of Banu Zanj's origin stories. These myths not only served to legitimize the authority of ruling dynasties but also provided a sense of cultural identity and collective memory for the inhabitants of the kingdom. The consolidation of power within the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was intricately linked to the leadership of influential figures who rose to prominence during key periods of the kingdom's history. Dynastic rulers, tribal chieftains, and military commanders played pivotal roles in shaping the political landscape and governing structures of Banu Zanj. Among the most renowned leaders was Zanj, whose visionary leadership and strategic acumen propelled the kingdom to new heights of prosperity and influence. Under his reign, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj expanded its territorial boundaries, forged strategic alliances with neighboring tribes, and established diplomatic relations with foreign powers. The contributions of influential figures such as Zanj laid the foundation for the kingdom's enduring legacy and paved the way for its prominence in the annals of Arabian history. The economic prosperity of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj rested upon a robust foundation of trade networks and commercial enterprises that spanned the length and breadth of the Arabian Peninsula. Situated at the crossroads of key trade routes linking the Arabian Gulf with the Indian Ocean and beyond, Banu Zanj emerged as a thriving hub of maritime commerce and exchange. The kingdom's strategic location facilitated the trade of luxury goods, including pearls, spices, precious metals, and textiles, which flowed freely through its bustling ports and markets. Trade relations with distant civilizations, such as the Roman Empire, the Sasanian Empire, and the Indian subcontinent, enriched the cultural tapestry of Banu Zanj and fueled its economic prosperity. The kingdom's economic foundations were further strengthened by sophisticated agricultural practices, including the cultivation of date palms, cereals, and other crops, which sustained its burgeoning population and fueled its commercial ambitions. Through a combination of trade, agriculture, and commerce, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj flourished as a beacon of prosperity and innovation in the ancient world. Religious practices and belief systems were central to the socio-cultural identity of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj. The religious landscape of the kingdom was characterized by a diverse array of beliefs and traditions, reflecting the multicultural influences that permeated its society. While polytheistic rituals and animistic practices were prevalent among certain tribes, others adhered to monotheistic faiths such as Judaism, Christianity, and Zoroastrianism. The religious landscape underwent significant transformations with the advent of Islam, which gradually supplanted existing belief systems and became the dominant religion of the region. The spread of Islam ushered in a new era of religious unity and cultural synthesis, as diverse communities embraced the teachings of the Quran and adopted Islamic practices. Despite the religious diversity that once characterized the Kingdom of Banu Zanj, the legacy of its religious heritage continues to resonate in the cultural traditions and architectural marvels that dot the landscape of the Arabian Peninsula. Social hierarchies and kinship structures form the bedrock of social organization within the Kingdom of Banu Zanj. The society was stratified along tribal lines, with kinship ties and familial relationships playing a crucial role in determining one's social status and political influence. Tribal leaders, known as sheikhs, wielded considerable authority within their respective tribes and served as arbiters of disputes and custodians of tribal customs and traditions. Beneath the tribal elite were various strata of society, including merchants, artisans, farmers, and laborers, each contributing to the economic and social fabric of the kingdom. While social mobility was limited for many, individuals could ascend the social hierarchy through acts of valor, feats of leadership, or successful entrepreneurial ventures. Despite the inherent hierarchies that defined social relations, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was characterized by a sense of communal solidarity and mutual interdependence, as individuals and communities rallied together in times of adversity and celebration. The art, architecture, and cultural contributions of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj reflected the rich tapestry of influences that shaped its identity. Architectural marvels such as grand mosques, fortified citadels, and ornate palaces adorned the urban centers and countryside, serving as symbols of power, prestige, and cultural sophistication. The architectural styles of Banu Zanj drew inspiration from diverse sources, blending elements of Arabian, Persian, and Byzantine aesthetics to create distinctive forms and structures. Artistic expression flourished in various forms, including calligraphy, miniature painting, ceramics, and textile weaving, each reflecting the vibrant creativity and ingenuity of Banu Zanj artisans. Cultural exchanges with neighboring civilizations enriched the artistic repertoire of the kingdom, as ideas, motifs, and techniques were exchanged and adapted to local tastes and preferences. Through their artistic endeavors, the people of Banu Zanj sought to immortalize their cultural heritage, celebrate their achievements, and express their collective identity for generations to come. The governance of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was characterized by a complex administrative framework and decision-making processes that evolved over centuries of political development. At the helm of the kingdom stood a central authority, typically vested in the ruling monarch or tribal leader, who exercised executive power and oversaw the administration of justice. Below the monarch were appointed officials and counselors responsible for managing the day-to-day affairs of the kingdom, including taxation, public works, and military matters. Administrative duties were often delegated to provincial governors and regional administrators who governed with varying degrees of autonomy, depending on their proximity to the capital and their loyalty to the ruling dynasty. Decision-making processes were informed by customary laws, tribal traditions, and religious edicts, which guided the formulation of policies and the resolution of disputes within the kingdom. Despite the hierarchical nature of the administrative apparatus, governance in Banu Zanj was characterized by a degree of flexibility and adaptability, as rulers sought to balance the demands of central authority with the autonomy of local communities. Diplomatic relations and alliances played a crucial role in shaping the foreign policy of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj, as rulers sought to navigate the complex web of regional rivalries and geopolitical interests. The kingdom maintained diplomatic ties with neighboring tribes, city-states, and empires, forging alliances through marriage alliances, trade agreements, and military treaties. Diplomatic envoys, known as emissaries, were dispatched to foreign courts to negotiate treaties, establish diplomatic missions, and foster cultural exchanges. Trade played a central role in diplomatic relations, as the kingdom leveraged its strategic position along key trade routes to cultivate economic alliances and secure access to vital resources. The Kingdom of Banu Zanj also engaged in strategic alliances with powerful empires such as the Sasanian Empire and the Byzantine Empire, leveraging their military prowess and political influence to safeguard its territorial integrity and expand its sphere of influence. Despite the challenges of diplomatic maneuvering in a volatile region, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj emerged as a skilled player on the geopolitical stage, adept at balancing competing interests and securing its strategic objectives through diplomacy and negotiation. The governance of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was not without its challenges, as rulers contended with internal dissent, external threats, and the complexities of managing a diverse and multicultural society. Factional rivalries and power struggles often destabilized the political landscape, leading to periods of instability and unrest. Economic pressures, including fluctuations in trade and agricultural production, strained the kingdom's resources and tested the resilience of its governance structures. External threats, such as invasions from rival tribes and foreign powers, posed significant challenges to the kingdom's security and territorial integrity, prompting rulers to invest in fortifications and military defenses. Despite these challenges, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj demonstrated remarkable resilience in the face of adversity, adapting its governance structures and policies to meet the evolving needs of its society. Through judicious diplomacy, strategic alliances, and effective governance, the kingdom weathered storms of uncertainty and emerged stronger and more resilient, leaving behind a legacy of political stability and cultural vibrancy that endured for centuries. The economic prosperity of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was fueled by a diverse array of economic drivers and industries that thrived within its borders. Among the key economic drivers were maritime trade, agriculture, and artisanal production. The kingdom's strategic location along major trade routes facilitated the exchange of goods and commodities, including pearls, spices, textiles, and precious metals, which flowed through its bustling ports and markets. The maritime trade industry played a pivotal role in driving economic growth, as skilled sailors and merchants navigated the waters of the Arabian Gulf and the Indian Ocean to engage in lucrative trade ventures with distant civilizations. Agriculture also formed a cornerstone of the kingdom's economy, with fertile lands along the coast and river valleys supporting the cultivation of date palms, cereals, fruits, and vegetables. Artisanal production flourished in urban centers, where skilled craftsmen and artisans produced exquisite textiles, ceramics, metalwork, and jewelry prized for their quality and craftsmanship. The synergy between these economic sectors fueled the kingdom's prosperity and laid the foundation for its economic dominance in the region. The Kingdom of Banu Zanj was strategically positioned at the crossroads of major trade routes that connected the Arabian Peninsula with the wider world. The kingdom's extensive network of trade routes extended across the Arabian Gulf, the Indian Ocean, and beyond, linking it to bustling commercial hubs in the Mediterranean, Persia, India, and East Africa. The maritime trade routes, in particular, played a pivotal role in facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, as merchants and sailors traversed the seas in search of new markets and opportunities. Key trade routes, such as the Silk Road and the Spice Route, intersected with Banu Zanj's maritime trade networks, bringing a constant influx of goods and travelers to its ports and markets. Trade caravans and maritime fleets carried a diverse array of commodities, including spices, textiles, precious metals, gemstones, ivory, and exotic animals, enriching the kingdom's cultural landscape and stimulating economic growth. The exchange of goods and ideas along these trade routes fostered cultural exchange, technological innovation, and economic prosperity, cementing the Kingdom of Banu Zanj's position as a vibrant center of commerce and cultural exchange. The economic activities of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj exerted a profound impact on the socio-political dynamics of its society. Economic prosperity fueled social mobility and upward mobility, as individuals and communities leveraged their entrepreneurial skills and commercial acumen to amass wealth and influence. The emergence of a mercantile class of traders, merchants, and entrepreneurs reshaped the social hierarchy, challenging traditional notions of status and privilege based on birth and lineage. Economic wealth also translated into political power, as wealthy merchants and influential businessmen wielded considerable influence within the kingdom's ruling elite. The interplay between economic interests and political power dynamics shaped governance structures and policy decisions, as rulers sought to balance the demands of economic development with the imperatives of political stability and social cohesion. Moreover, economic activities fostered cultural exchange and cosmopolitanism, as diverse communities and ethnic groups converged in urban centers and commercial hubs, enriching the kingdom's cultural tapestry and fostering a spirit of tolerance and pluralism. Despite the transformative impact of economic activities, disparities in wealth and opportunity persisted, exacerbating social inequalities and tensions within Banu Zanj's society. The military organization of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was structured to ensure the defense and security of its territories and interests. At the heart of the military apparatus were professional soldiers and warriors who underwent rigorous training and discipline to uphold the kingdom's sovereignty. The military forces were organized into specialized units, including infantry, cavalry, archers, and naval fleets, each equipped with a diverse array of armaments and weaponry. Infantry units typically consisted of foot soldiers armed with spears, swords, and shields, while cavalry units utilized horses and camels for swift maneuverability on the battlefield. Archers played a crucial role in long-range combat, employing composite bows and arrows to rain down volleys of projectiles upon enemy forces. Naval fleets patrolled the kingdom's coastal waters, safeguarding maritime trade routes and defending against naval incursions. Military commanders and strategists devised tactics and battle plans to exploit the strengths of their forces while exploiting the weaknesses of their adversaries, ensuring victory on the battlefield. Warfare tactics employed by the Kingdom of Banu Zanj were characterized by a combination of strategic planning, tactical maneuvering, and psychological warfare. Military campaigns were meticulously planned and coordinated, taking into account factors such as terrain, weather conditions, and enemy strengths and weaknesses. Ambushes, skirmishes, and sieges were common tactics employed to weaken enemy forces and seize strategic objectives. Guerrilla warfare tactics, including hit-and-run attacks and raids on enemy supply lines, were used to harass and demoralize opposing armies. Diplomatic negotiations and alliances were also employed as tools of conflict resolution, allowing rulers to secure peace treaties and truces with rival tribes and neighboring kingdoms. Despite the brutality of warfare, efforts were made to mitigate civilian casualties and preserve the infrastructure and resources of conquered territories. Conflict resolution mechanisms, including arbitration councils and tribal assemblies, provided avenues for resolving disputes and grievances through dialogue and negotiation, fostering stability and cohesion within the kingdom. Fortifications and defense mechanisms played a crucial role in safeguarding the Kingdom of Banu Zanj against external threats and invasions. Key urban centers and strategic locations were fortified with walls, ramparts, and watchtowers, providing protection against enemy incursions and sieges. Fortified citadels and strongholds served as bastions of defense, housing garrisons of soldiers and military commanders tasked with maintaining law and order and repelling enemy attacks. Coastal defenses, including forts and coastal batteries, were erected along the kingdom's maritime borders to defend against naval incursions and pirate raids. Defensive fortifications were augmented with sophisticated engineering and architectural techniques, including moats, drawbridges, and catapults, designed to deter and repel enemy forces. The construction of defensive structures was often a collaborative effort involving skilled craftsmen, laborers, and engineers who utilized local materials and resources to fortify the kingdom's borders and perimeters. Despite the formidable nature of its defenses, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj remained vigilant against emerging threats and invested in continuous improvements and upgrades to its defensive infrastructure, ensuring the security and sovereignty of its territories. The decline of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj was precipitated by a combination of internal strife and external pressures that undermined its stability and territorial integrity. Internally, factional rivalries and power struggles among rival tribes and competing factions weakened the kingdom's cohesion and unity, leading to political instability and social unrest. The absence of a centralized authority to arbitrate disputes and enforce law and order exacerbated tensions and fueled internal conflicts. Externally, the kingdom faced mounting pressures from neighboring tribes, rival kingdoms, and foreign powers seeking to expand their influence and control over strategic territories and trade routes. Invasions, raids, and territorial incursions posed significant challenges to the kingdom's defenses and strained its military resources, further exacerbating its vulnerabilities and exposing its weaknesses. The convergence of internal discord and external threats hastened the kingdom's decline and set the stage for its eventual downfall. Several factors contributed to the decline of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj, including socio-political upheaval, economic decline, environmental degradation, and external conquests. The erosion of political stability and social cohesion weakened the kingdom's governance structures and undermined its ability to govern effectively. Economic decline, precipitated by fluctuations in trade, agricultural productivity, and resource depletion, weakened the kingdom's economic foundations and strained its fiscal resources. Environmental factors, including droughts, famines, and natural disasters, exacerbated food shortages and exacerbated social unrest, further destabilizing the kingdom's fragile equilibrium. External conquests and invasions by rival tribes, foreign powers, and imperial forces inflicted heavy losses on the kingdom's military and territorial holdings, diminishing its power and influence in the region. The convergence of these factors created a perfect storm of internal and external pressures that precipitated the kingdom's decline and eventual collapse, relegating it to the annals of history. Despite its decline and eventual disappearance, the Kingdom of Banu Zanj left behind a lasting legacy that continues to resonate in the cultural, political, and historical landscape of the Arabian Peninsula. The kingdom's contributions to trade, commerce, and maritime exploration enriched the cultural tapestry of the region and fostered cultural exchanges and intellectual inquiry. Its architectural marvels, artistic achievements, and technological innovations continue to inspire admiration and awe, serving as testaments to the ingenuity and creativity of its artisans and craftsmen. The kingdom's legacy also lives on in the collective memory and folklore of the region's inhabitants, who cherish its traditions, customs, and cultural heritage. Moreover, the decline of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj served as a catalyst for political realignment and social transformation, paving the way for the rise of new kingdoms, empires, and civilizations in the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. The lessons learned from the kingdom's rise and fall continue to inform scholarly inquiry and historical analysis, offering valuable insights into the complexities of power, governance, and human agency in the ancient world. In this way, the legacy of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj endures as a beacon of resilience, creativity, and cultural exchange, illuminating the pathways of history and inspiring generations to come. As we conclude our exploration of the Kingdom of Banu Zanj, we are reminded of the importance of further exploration and appreciation of ancient civilizations. The study of history offers a gateway to understanding the diverse array of human experiences, perspectives, and achievements that have shaped our world over millennia. By delving into the depths of antiquity, we gain insights into the complexities of human societies, the forces that shape their destinies, and the legacies they leave behind. As we journey forward, let us continue to explore and appreciate the rich tapestry of ancient civilizations, drawing inspiration from their triumphs and tribulations, and honoring the enduring legacy of human creativity, resilience, and cultural exchange that binds us together as a global community. In doing so, we enrich our understanding of the past, illuminate the pathways of the present, and inspire future generations to chart a course of discovery and enlightenment.